This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com and Equities.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I have a returning guest. We're talking about HempAmericana, Inc. They were on the show back in August the 23rd. They trade on the OTC markets. You can find them under the ticker symbol HMPQ. And with us today is the CEO of that company, Salvador Rosillo. Salvador, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here again.
You know, you guys got operations up there in Maine. Last time you were on the show, we talked about the commercial stage of operations. Where is HMPQ at today?
Well, from the last time that happened, about 2 or 3 months ago
yes.
to today, we are in full extraction mode from the 4 tons of flour that we had purchased. We are completely debt-free as of yesterday.
Wow.
Okay. Everything has been paid. All the machines that are needed from the extraction is being frozen at the moment because the winterization machine is there, but you cannot run the winterization machine without the fuel recovery machine, because in the winterization you use ethanol. So what happens after that recovery of the oil, it goes into the distillate. And the distillate is the first stage of commercialization for us. We have contracted for the manufacture of an isolate making machine, which is the next step. But at the moment, the isolate machines, as you know, this is a new industry. Everything has to be invented or adjusted for the new reality. They're far in between the producers of isolate machines, okay? And they're quite expensive also. So we are in full production. In 2 weeks, the machines arrive, and by the end of November, we should be earning revenue.
That sounds great. I guess congratulations are in order, and correct me if I'm wrong. You did a reduction, I think, from 6 billion shares to 3.75 billion. Why?
Well, because since I was a newbie, I didn't know the implication of having so many shares. And when we first went in the market, experts told me to have 6 billion. And then I didn't feel comfortable, as I found out it's better to have less. So I couldn't cut immediately because we're in the middle of a reggae. So as soon as I could, I cut. And I'm going to cut some more. Okay?
All right.
Because right now the reggae is finished, and we might be applying for a new reggae that might be here in 3-4 months. Okay. In the meantime, we are fully sufficient. Everything is paid, and we're in the threshold of revenue.
So, what are the future plans for HMPQ?
The future plans for HMPQ is to continue the expansion of what is arriving now. It's a bottling machine to make little bottles with droplets, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, with CBD. Most of the CBD being marketed at the moment on that type of little bottles carry 250 milligrams. That is, 4 little bottles make 1 gram. Our intention, that is rather weak formula, okay? Our intention is not that part of the market. We are looking to be the best CBD that really has an effect on you, and we're not so interested in maximizing every cent at the expense of the health or the quality of the product, okay? We're not interested in that. We're interested in creating a legacy, a business that will be here after I'm gone, and all of the ones that are involved in it are gone, and the business will continue like some big corporation. Okay? That's what we're trying to do.
So let me ask you this, Salvador. I want to switch gears just for a second. I recently got a memo from your team that you guys put up a new website, and the new name of your website is called HempAmericana.com.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we originally had HempAmericana.com, but then the website was no good. Something happened, and we opened at HempAmericana.net, and now we're back to the .com. In that front, I used to be a domainer about 10 years ago when it was wild, and I still have over 400 domains. Most of them are dealing with cannabis, marijuana, hemp. So I'm planning to make like a cloud of domains pointing to HMPQ.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the areas of concentration in the hemp space.
Oh, also we are increasing an acreage. We're in negotiations right now with to create a partnership with a farmer for another 30 acres in Maine.
Well, that's outstanding. I just want to know if on the areas of concentration, what will you be concentrating once you get those two machines? What area of the hemp space?
It's the CBD. The concentration is in CBD.
In what
That
forms?
machine, we want it to be running 24/7. That machine can produce 16 kilos of CBD raw a day.
Are you talking about oils? Concentration.
That's right.
Okay.
CBD oils.
And how are you going to market that?
We're going to market it at the beginning wholesale and droplets. But as we expand, we'll go adding value-added products to the line. But the main thing is that we will have a revenue from whatever is wholesale, retail, but we will have a revenue in 3 weeks' time, more or less.
My guest today is Salvador Rosillo. He is the CEO of HempAmericana, Inc. They trade on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol HMPQ. You're listening to him saying that they are going to have revenues here in the next 30 to 60 days, 3 weeks, I think it was what he actually said. In closing, Salvador, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to touch upon that you would like to illustrate to my listeners?
Well, I have lots of other news that at the moment are not public. But in the next, maybe I can tell you about it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Hopefully you'll come back on 30 or 40 days and give us an update. By then you should have some revenues. Thank you so much, Salvador, for your time.
Listen, I want to thank all the shareholders for being so patient. It's taken us such a long time to come to revenue. And I thank everybody that has supported us along the way. Thank you.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.